Hi everyone, my name is Chris Martin. Welcome to Keto with me. It is day 22 on my journey back into keto. If you're new to my channel, check out my day 0 video where I go over the reasons and insights of why I created this video series. Alright, time for the clip. That was my day 22 clip, folks. So let's take a look at the numbers, and then we're going to do a quick recap of week 3, and then talk about week 4 now. So the numbers for yesterday is my carbs were 12.6, so did pretty good there. My blood glucose 84, my ketones 2.4. So my numbers honestly are just looking like fantastic. I mean, I couldn't be more pleased with my numbers. My weight, I'm 217, so I dropped 0.3. And that gives me a running total of 17.4 pounds, which is really good for for these 22 days or 21 days, 22 days. Yeah, so I'm feeling really good about that. My macros for yesterday were 69% fat, 6% carb, and then 25% for protein. So again, overall, a really good day. We'll discuss some of the things that happen on the side, like fasting and stuff, when we get to the goals. So I wanted to summarize real quick what week 3 results. So now that we have a little bit of a trend going here, I can kind of see where because I was sitting there yesterday going, what's my average ketones for the last week. So my average ketones from week 3 to the beginning of week 4 was 2, so that's pretty good. I've got that number staying up there, so I'm basically I feel like I'm in nutritional ketosis, which I have to find a video for you guys to that discusses that. My weight, I had a drop of 3.5 pounds over that week. I think that's really respectable. The average blood glucose was 89. I'm just like floored with my blood glucose numbers, because being someone that probably was around 100 to the 1-teens for a long time, then did keto and got it down, and then it went back up, and now I've got it back under control pretty quickly. I mean, to get these consistent numbers, that makes me feel good. The first time I did keto and I started checking blood glucose, which was probably a month or 2 in, I remember it took like really a long time to get out of the 100s and then down into the 90s and so forth. So this is really fantastic. So those are my week 3 numbers. I'm very happy with them. I don't know if I can do 3.5 pounds a week consistently, but that would be nice. It is a little I wouldn't say disappointing, but just like when you put in, you have these long, really good numbers, and then you have like you're expecting, your mindset is like, especially being a little bit bigger guy, not huge but bigger, that I would be like, hey, dropping 5, dropping 6, but that's not the reality of it. The reality of it is that I put in the time, I'm going to lose, and again, weighing daily, it's one of the things that probably out of this whole series that drives me up the wall, just because I'm I said I would do it. Now I'm going to do it. I'm even going to try to take my scale with me to out of town with me so that I can weigh there. I just got to remember to grab it. I got a little post-it note. I got another post-it note that says grab the scale. So I want to do that. Not that it wouldn't hurt if I just went 3 days without weighing and then see what it turned out to be. So this is the beginning of week 4. We'll talk about that more when we're in the goals here. So, but that should be it for what I want to say about the daily recap. So let's go ahead and take a look at the goals. Let's take a look at week 4 and day 22 specifically. So this is actually the beginning of week 4. So we do have just some tweaks and changes that we're making here. Right off the get-go, you'll see my sleep has improved from the last couple days. I got 6.5. I still feel like I'm a little catching up. I landed in the good category on that just because of the number and not getting up. So I'm still really tickled about not waking up, even though there's been some nights I've not slept as long as I'd like to. So moving on to eating keto. So fasting, you'll see a big change there. I changed a couple of things. First of all, I changed the parameters of the fast. I switched it to a clean fast, which is what Dr. Boz defined as just black coffee, tea, water, and then you can have like salt. Remember she recommended the mineral salt, the red mineral salt. So I did get some. I switched to that from taking the electrolytes, and actually it did work really well because I did not have any kind of cravings at all. Matter of fact, you'll see I went 23 hours and 15 minutes and just kind of killed it. I had not intended on doing that long of one. My goal is still to hit that 16-8 range. So if I were to get hungry during lunchtime or something like that, I'm going to eat. So and then when I did finish the fast, I ate until I was full. I didn't gorge. So if you look at the numbers, I didn't overdo it. So I literally ate for 1 hour, and then I went right back to fasting at 6:15. I think is when I started fasting again. So I was going to mention something else about that, and I'm sure it'll come back up here in a second. But regarding the style, I'm dirty clean, but this is the beginning of a new week, so I kind of bumped my number all the way back down to okay in this category. And then as I progress through the week and I continually do that, I will move that guy up in the category as always. So as far as macros are concerned, I have 12.6, which I mentioned a few ago on my during my daily recap. So, and with my fat percentages, they 69, 25, 6, they were good. You're supposed to be like 75, but I'm not going to be upset that I wasn't happy that I wasn't down in the 50s on that. Usually by that time of the day, I've already had either 1 or 2 MCT and and so forth. And just also the nature of the meal. The meal that we made had a little bit more carbs in it, more protein than fat. So, but still great, still beast mode on that. I'm going to still keep killing it on that. Learning, beginning of a new week, so I bumped myself down to the okay category on that. And as long as I keep doing a daily video, that guy will move all the way to the right. Tracking, as always, I've got my tracking guide here. I got my chronometer, and the spreadsheet here, and things are going really well. I know exactly where I'm setting with things and so forth. So I'm in the beast mode category on that one. As far as meditation, you'll see I did get a 20-minute meditation yesterday morning. So I think I'd mentioned that I had a couple bad nights sleep, and I was like, I really just want to sit here and just relax. And I think I did kind of fall asleep for a moment. So that was really, really good to actually have that little meditation time. So for exercise, as you guys know, that I have, I have not started that yet. I do have plans, to do that. And I just remembered what I was going to say about the fasting category. So I will be out of town for 3 days, and I will have like a little makeshift studio, and at the hotel, just kind of set up a light and stuff, and do it from there. My goal is to still continue to do the 16-8 fast, but if I end up doing 23s, that's great. But you know how it is when you travel, things are different, I will just adjust as necessary and, keep ketoing and, doing what I'm supposed to be doing to the best of my abilities. So that's it for the goals. Let's take a look at the video recommendations. All right, let's talk about the video recommendation for day 22. It's another Dr. Bod's video. It's about 11 minutes and 9 seconds. This one is titled, What Your Doctor May Not Know About Keto Fiber. So this has to do with total carbs versus net carbs, in a way, because after yesterday I showed you what Dr. Berry does and, adjustments that you may or may not make to your, ketogenic lifestyle, with regards to how many carbs you're counting. So you'll find right off the get-go that she's pretty strict, as she's always a total carb person. She will always count total carbs, total carbs, total carbs. So like my adjustment to the slide yesterday with making, my coffee be 0, she would be like, no, count it, but she still lets you do coffee on fast, as long as it's black coffee. But, what she's saying is that you can't count it as 0. You should technically be counting it as the fiber in it, which it is. I mean, according to Chronometer, coffee is 2.8 per 12 ounces, and that's carbs, total carbs. And the fiber is 2.8 total carbs. So I should technically list it that way, but since I'm fasting, I'm listing it as 0. I'm sure I'll get flack from that, but oh well. So something about, one thing about it, she goes into this video, she goes into, pretty good detail, but in a nice, easy to understand way about the different types of sugars. She even gets into like man-made, and, what table sugar really is. It's like glucose plus fructose, mixed together. And the big takeaway from her video is that you do not need, glucose to survive. No matter what, even if it says it in a medical journal, whatever, it is 100% false that you need it, to survive. So with that said, she's telling you that you can get by without it. But the whole takeaway too is that, pick what you're doing. Like I said yesterday, if total carbs is the safe bet, you're guaranteed to, not go over, like if you're targeting 20 or 30 or whatever, that's your number. But if you're doing, if you're doing, net carbs, and for some reason you're just stuck, take a look at what the real total carbs are, and maybe that's what's holding you up. Maybe you need to adjust that. So, but as I sit here and think, I think I'm actually just going to take the, nutritional value off of the coffee slides, just so I don't have to deal with any kind of conflict with people. So let me see. Oh yeah, also one last thing. When you get done with this video, you will know a lot about carbs and a lot about fiber. I think it's very informative. Dr. Boz always does a great job. I think it's a good knowledge to know if you're on the ketogenic, lifestyle, eating regimen. I don't like to call it a diet. That's it for day 22, folks. Thanks for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe so you can keto with me. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. Just remember, none of us are perfect. Be a coach, not a critic, and take care.